Okay, hey, how's it going? I'm standing here at the Spanish Plaza waiting for the lid store to open because I'm about to get a hat. Also, if you like Macklemore, so do I. There, just said that. But anyway, I've got like an hour to kill, so I'm gonna try to talk for an hour long about just like miscellaneous stuff. This is gonna be like my hour long impromptu using my cell phone as apparently a sufficient media device kind of stand-up special. So that being said, I'm gonna stand up for this because I feel like it's important. Also, you can see a cool view of the building in the background. This isn't your typical thing, but anyway, I'm gonna go for it. So first of all, man, this is actually what started the idea. Was I was just thinking about something that's kind of strange. You probably know it. It's kind of a thing that's, you know, kind of like, at least it's not a trend on Twitter, but if it was a trend on Twitter, it'd probably be like, I think these kids are up to something kind of thing. Anyway, have you ever noticed, you know, like on resumes, people who put like Microsoft Word under their skill set? It's just an interesting thing because like when you think about it, that's not the most impressive thing you can put on your resume, and it doesn't really see that much, especially if you were born in the 90s. So, I mean, I don't know. That having been said, at least it means, you know, you're not a monkey, so there's that. So I think we have a list of things like that. So like, at least, you know, you're not probably gonna shit in the desk and throw it to someone. So at least, you know, there's like the bare essentials full of, hey, this guy can do like at least like work with people, but does he know how to use a computer better than Excel? Because he probably use something more complicated in the workplace. Because, you know, as someone who's worked in a corporate environment, I can tell you that like they use some stuff that's like kind of more complicated than Excel, because it's not just like, you know, type your name into this under a heading and then submit this essay to your nearest line manager kind of thing. So you know what I mean? Anyway, that's the kind of thing that I was getting at. But more specifically, like what our parents would think about that, because I don't know now. I'm kind of wondering, do other people, do like older people think that it's impressive on the resume? Do they see that and they go, wow, this guy can use Microsoft Word? Like I struggle to, you know, say my PowerPoint. I don't know. But I mean, I guess in their generation, it's like the kind of thing they never grew up with. So like, we'll never understand. We just never understand that kind of thing. I don't know. But if you do something much more impressive, like, you know, fly airplanes or a stunt pilot or professional stunt pilot and won like awards for it, put that on your resume, especially if you're going to try to be a professional stunt pilot or applying for a job as a professional stunt pilot, because that's something that should definitely go on your resume for that job. But if it's not, you know, maybe leave that off unless it's just something you want to put in there under like perks, because that's a cool thing too, you know, put it on there. If that's something I saw on a resume, personally, this is now my professional advice. I'd be like, wow, this guy's cool. This guy's got like goals in life. This guy's got aspirations, direction. I want to know about him. I want to know about him more, and I want him on my team if he can like, you know, correlate that to like a job thing, because otherwise just like, well, that's cool, but like I can't use that. Like, you can't like fly a plane in the office, sir. I'm sorry, this is a no landing zone. You're gonna have to like maybe circle the building and like maybe I'll give you money for it if you do like a special event in our workplace. But other than that, like that doesn't, you know, not have the coolness factor, but it doesn't get you, you know, the top spot in the job thing, because I think the other guy knows Microsoft Word, and let's just say that's more useful. So anyway, the next thing I'm talking about, what's the third application that nobody uses that much? Well, it's not Excel, because I use Excel for like everything, but then I'm like a spreadsheet kind of guy. It's like everything I do, or at least how I used to do, I used to put in spreadsheets. So like I do like so much stuff. I'd like do like all my travel planning in spreadsheets. And like, here's how anal I was. I used to plan out the entirety, this is just see my hand motions, of my spreadsheets in like itinerary formats. And then when I was in South America, I was like so retentive about that like every single thing was like planned to the day. And I did this like, I think months in advance. So when I departed for South America, like the first time to go to Ecuador, which is kind of a spur of the moment thing, but I was like, you know what? One day I was like, I'm gonna go to Ecuador because me gusta, the wanting to go to South America is the translation that I'm struggling to do right now because my Spanish is just awful. And I ended up just picking that as, you know, I'm gonna go from there and I'm just gonna go down to the bottom and just work my way back up along this thing. And I use this term very hesitantly in case you're South American, the Gringo Trail, right? But anyway, I've climbed those steps. I know about that, but if you don't know about that, you gotta go. So I'm not gonna tell you about it. I'm not gonna ruin your surprise. I'm gonna ruin your life. You gotta check it out for yourself, because the fun of it and what makes it a cool thing to do in life, like in real life, I mean, is, you know, to have that special experience. So anyway, I did that, and the entire thing was like day by day, just kind of like laid out. But I did it like subtly, also while I was working at work. So like, whenever I had like free time to like eat my lunch, I was like, does this count as like free time or like do other stuff? Because I was like subtly gathering intel while I was at work about what people could do at work and in the workplace was appropriate. So while I was eating my lunch some days, I'd be like, okay, so what can I do while I'm eating my lunch? It's like something I want to do, but like I could get away with and just say, but I'm on my lunch break. Like, who did this? You know? So what I would do was just like organize spreadsheets about the place I want to go, and I just like would dream about this all day long. So I was like a radical daydreamer. So this is like all I thought about all day long, like 24/7. And it got to the point, so much so that in the meetings, I just like spaced out and just be like, oh, I want to be in South America right now. But I just like had to pay attention because like at certain points that like I had to like snap back to it. They'd refer me a question, and just like nod and go, yeah, about that, what you just said. And I can talk about that for like at least a little bit of time because I can pull enough bullshit out of my ass to like make a point so that it sounds good enough to be like, wow, this guy's still professional. So that's how, I can handle my life in the corporate workplace. But I don't do that anymore. I'm not about the corporate life anymore. I'm about other things on earth. If I just said I'm applying for a job as a porn star, and if you're really hot and want to bang me, we could do that on camera, but I don't know how much money we'll make. So disclaimer, just saying. But next, I also, so about that spreadsheet planning. That's like an app that I use for like everything. I use it for my personal life. I used to actually use it to like plan out like, I call this thing the personal blueprint. So here's what it is. It's like how I plan out my life and like how I want to like set my goals, like my personal goals, or like how I wanted to be as a person. And I like did like things I wanted to do in life, like laid out in spreadsheets, in like the organized Excel format, of course. And like some of those able to like be more proactive, be more wake up to my alarm faster. That some are like really specific, like the alarm thing. Some are like really vague, like just be kind of I'll say be an imperfectionist, because one of the things I had to do is like stop trying to fix everything. So that's something that I put on my list, and I would check back to it like for both motivation to keep me on track with my goals, and kind of just to keep me like I'm not giving up on my life. I'm not a loser. I still have like goals in my life, kind of thing. So I did that, and that was how much of like a nerd I was. I didn't like put on cool post-it notes and stick in my fridge. I didn't like stylize and artsy and like put on my wall like like all the word art you see now is like live, love, learn, which is like a Microsoft Excel thing. Then again, I was an engineer, but I'm not your typical engineer because I have fun at parties, and I'm like the funnest party guy you could ever meet. So I'm not saying that nerdily. I'm not saying that like as I'm trying to promote myself. I'm saying that like if you've ever partied with me, you would know that. So anyway, I'm not gonna like try to promote myself any further, but I'm just saying the funnest party we ever had in high school, in my opinion, was a beer links that I threw after high school, and I was gonna say go Team Greece. So anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, right, Excel. Oh yeah, there's a fourth one that like no one uses. I think it's the one, it's like, it's not as good as Adobe Photoshop, but it's like Microsoft's attempt to like get into that game. And like we're all on you, Microsoft. We all know you're never gonna get to Adobe's level. Like you're never gonna be like the replacement for Photoshop. No one's gonna get you're gonna go, oh, I'm a professional photographer. I want to edit this photo. I want to make it look really good and like really artsy. And like everybody in the artistic business uses Photoshop, and it's like the best software available. And Microsoft really does one just because they want more money. And yeah, no. So that's not gonna catch on. Probably never gonna catch on. So I don't think there's even any reason for me to even try to remember what it is. I don't even know. But there it is. Also, if you know about that, maybe you own a Zune too. I don't know. Maybe you're one of those kids. Maybe you thought it was trendy. Maybe you thought you could start something, but maybe it didn't work out for you. So sorry it didn't, but we're on the same page as to iPods rule. And that was like the best thing to listen to when you were like growing up in the 90s, I guess, or late 90s, or no, sorry, early 2000s. I got my decades mixed up because I couldn't remember when I was in high school because I don't always like think about things based on the year. So anyway, yeah, that was definitely a 2000s thing because I was like, it was like the late 2000s. That's like 2008. But anyway, on my iPod list, I'm gonna throw out 3 songs that I have on my iPod list. One was Ludacris Moneymaker. One was Party Shop, or Shop Boys, Party Like a Rock Star. And the third one was Soulja Boy Crank That. Because like who didn't know that song in the 2000s, right? That was like the song on the radio. If you couldn't do the dance, or at least know of the dance, then you were probably like the weirdest kid in high school. Just saying. But also if you didn't party like a rock star when you were in high school, it's like you missed the chance because you're never gonna be in high school again. And now it's like frowned upon if you're just like, a degenerate. So it's like you can't be like in your 20s and be like, yo guys, let's go like skip school and do this. And it's like, no, you need to be responsible, so you need to make a living. You need to be like, on at least the young professionals level. Which is like, I feel like the level that I'm at still at this point in my life. So I can't say I'm like, a quote adult, because I feel like that starts like in your late 30s to 40s. And I wouldn't say I'm like a kid by any means. So because I'm like older than that, so I feel like I'm still in that range where I can like go out and drink and like have fun and like do a lot of stuff, but like I have money. So that's like the best kind of area to be in, especially at this point in my life and like whenever I'm at like in my own personal headspace, I guess. So lucky me, that just works out on earth, right? Great that my life is actually just perfect for me to just peak right in my 29s when I want to just be a person who loves to drink and has money to do so. And like, socialize is the word I'm looking for. Yes. It's not all about the drinking. It's all about, the people. So that's the key. But anyway, the next thing I want to talk about, planes. You guys fly planes? This is what I'm wondering. Because that's like just a cool thing to do. But here's the thing. I tried to go for my pilot's license like a little bit ago, but I didn't end up having the free time or like I felt the budget to pay for the entire license program at the time. So I only ended up getting like 2 lessons in, so I didn't end up doing the entire flight school thing. But I think it's something that's so cool and it's like super cool if you can do, because I never thought of this, but if you can fly a plane, you can go, here's what I learned. You can go pretty much anywhere and you can do it on your own schedule, which is like the coolest thing on earth. Because you can literally picture this. This guy told me the story. It's a true story. He said he got on his plane one day because he and his friends were bored. He flew to the Bahamas with his friends, landed at a private airport, and then just like went to the Bahamas for a day or for however long they were there, and just got back on his plane, flew back to New Orleans, and that was like his weekend. And I was like, are you kidding me? I should definitely get my pilot's license. That's like the coolest thing ever. Also, I'm not a guy who like quotes to quote suck the cock of another guy, But he did say some impressive things, and I'll point that out, that if you can't tell by the whole fact that he has a pilot license and a ball of life, then, you know, maybe you can put things together. But if you're a straight shooter and like a star in your own world, and I don't know what that means to you, but in my world it means you stand out, at least for being yourself, if nothing less, which is how I view it. So, but anyway, if you're that kind of person, then good for you. Keep doing what you're doing. I want to hear your story. So, but anyway, another thing. Oh yeah, also, but I went to the Paris Air Show when I was younger with my dad, and that was like a really cool thing because I'd never done that or seen that before. But just like an awesome event and festivities. It's so cool because I just see like space stuff. It's the coolest thing ever because I never knew about like the French space program or anything like that. But they had like what did they have? I'm like trying to remember now, but I think they had like some kind of rockets or something, or something there. I don't know. I know they had like a lot of planes, and I think some of them were like quote in the aerospace territory somewhere where it could be like more towards the space realm, but I don't know like what's up with that. So I can't tell you much more. If you want to check it out, I think they're still doing it. So go see the Paris Air Show. It's like one of those things you can put on your bucket list, as I call it. I don't know how popular that term is or how people use it, but that's like what I use to refer to this kind of thing. So check it out. You won't regret it if it's the kind of thing you want to see. So, and with that being said, now I'm going to talk about bucket lists, because I've got a bucket list, and it's like one of the things that defined my life when I was in college. So here's the thing. If you're bored and you think your life is boring, make a bucket list, because that's going to change your life, because it's going to get you prioritizing what you want to do in life and get you on the right track, what's actually best for you, what actually matters in your life. Because if you put everything else to the side, you're just going to end up being bored, and you're going to end up hating your life. What? I don't work here, but you can check inside. I think they open at 10. Sorry, this is a citizen, asking me for advice and, how to stand up, be a hero. So I told him what time it opens. So there's me, just, being a New Orleansian, helping other New Orleansians. That was a hard word to pronounce. It's a term for locals in New Orleans. Anyway, about about getting your life on track, prioritizing, and being like a proactive kind of person. That's the kind of person you want to be, and that's how you get ahead in the way that matters most in life, in the way you'll end up wanting to go in if you don't want to regret everything in your life. And that's the best way to live life, trust me, because I've read a lot of stories, and it never ends on a positive note for people who didn't do what they wanted to do. So just keep that in mind. I hope that helps you. I hope that's good advice. But anyway, that was one of the things that I just happened to do. It's too young for me at that point to have made a bucket list, so I didn't have one. But after college, I made a huge bucket list. I made like all the items and all the categories, of course in Excel, of all the things I wanted to do. But one of the things that I put on my bucket list is, here's the thing. I didn't want to make it too cheesy. I don't want to make it too cliche. I don't want to make it too boring, because I wanted to like be unique to me. Here's the three criteria I used. I'm going to name these out for you now. I want it to be unique to me. I want it to be special to the point where like it would stand out to like, this guy actually put in work in his bucket list. It's not something he just copy off of anyone else. And the third thing is, I want it to be something where it's somehow like something that I could never be the same again. So like when I had when I would have these experiences, it would be like something that would be once in a lifetime, and I can never do them again. That's why they're so important that I should put them on the bucket list. And that is the word I want to use, because I was thinking if I should call them special again. I shouldn't. So that's anyway. Also on a side note, do you guys like browse Reddit? Because that is like the most popular comment on Reddit that I've seen, at least in so many fields and categories. Just like everybody just like seeing things going, that. Well, I'm glad you agree, sir. At least you voice your opinion. Anyway, I'm glad that's just a thing on Reddit, because if no one had an opinion on Reddit would be like the most boring thing on the internet, but it's not. It's actually really interesting. People sharing opinions, people sharing witty, funny comments, so it's cool. If you haven't seen it before, check it out. It's supposedly the front page of the internet, so I'm assuming it's popular at least enough to have that title, but who knows? I don't know. I don't check web server traffic, so you can go see for yourself. You can leave a comment, you'll get a witty reply. Who knows? It's a fun place. Check it out. Anyway, also I started this on a side note. I started this subreddit called Technically in Italics, which is for anything that you read on the internet. When you read it, it's like, shouldn't that be in italics? I feel like guys being sarcastic, and that's why I started, because I feel like it's just a funny place to start a community. People just pointing that out and just making light of the humor of some things aren't that seriously put, and they should be taken more italically, but not as in they were put seriously. But I did not mean that seriously. So italically, like that is like what that word is like, or what that function is for. So that is like what should be pointed out, and that is why I am the head of the subreddit, Technically in Italics. Anyway, on the next note, I got this thing called a thermo flask. This girl I met named Rachel recommended me to get one, so I got it. It's like the coolest thing ever to hold water in. I don't know if you have one or own one, but it's awesome. I personalized mine with stickers, so you can see it from there. But I put a lot of cool stickers on it. This one's just like a cool penguin. I'm from Pittsburgh, so like I love all things penguins, but also because I love the Arctic, and I just love this kind of animals. I love animals so much so that I just what do they call it? Subscribed, I guess, to WWF magazine, which is the World Wildlife Foundation, I think it's called. So I got like a page every week where I could like add it into my notebook or my binder, and I could add like all the animals into it and like look at them and browse them. It said like cool stats and facts about them. and like cool bios and information about them, which is awesome. It's like the awesomest thing ever, because I used to love animals, and I still do. The penguins are like one of my favorite animals because they're just so cute, and they just like waddle, and they're just fun animals. So that's why I got a penguin on my thermal flask. Also, I just got into Star Wars recently, so I got like a little Baby Yoda sticker. I thought that's cool. I happened to catch an episode of The Mandalorian, but I don't think I'm gonna be too into it, like the series, or watching the series, or streaming the series at least. On my Toshiba Fire TV, which is where I probably end up streaming it. So, I don't know. But I like Baby Yoda ideologically. Or I like the idea of Baby Yoda, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why I got the sticker, to show my support. And the rest of the stuff I just got in like a sticker pack and just stuck them on here. I don't know. It just symbolizes the sunflower is the sun. This is a camera, take a picture of things. It'll last longer. Or it's worth 1,000 words is the way I say it. But anyway, and this one just symbolizes travel in my world, so I love travel. If nothing else, because it broadens the mind, and on the way where it makes your brains leak out, so it's awesome. But anyway, there's the 3 things you should keep in mind. If you see something cool, take some more photos in your life. It'll maybe help you capture some things in life. You'll maybe learn to appreciate more beauty in life and see the beautiful things in life. If you don't travel much, go somewhere cool. Take an interesting vacation. Give you some perspective of the world. It'll be fun. This is here at Plaza de España. I'll tell you, I've been to Spain, but this makes me think of Italy for some reason, because they have so many like plazas in Italy. So I'm thinking about, but I think they do have, I don't know, I'm not gonna say anything more, because I'm just rambling now. But I know they have really cool art in Barcelona. They have like the Gaudi arts, which is awesome. It's like this huge art project by this guy to make this massive cathedral, which I think they just call the Gaudi Cathedral, but it's like all Gothic architecture that I'm aware of. And it's like probably the best example of Gothic architecture you can find anywhere in the world. So check it out if you're into that. It could be something cool to put on your bucket list if you want to see it. Maybe you're just like a huge fan of Gothic architecture. Maybe you're a huge architecture fan. I was not an architecture major in college, but I think architecture is fascinating. So that's just like something that I appreciate too, but just not in the same way and on the same level as other people. So that's. But also, something important about Spain now is that next is that they have the weirdest eating schedule on earth that I've encountered. And I'm gonna stop talking. But they do what they call tapas in the afternoon, I think, or the evening, and they eat their big meal in the morning. So imagine waking up, like, I don't know if you're American watching this or not, but I'm an American, so that's what I'm saying this. And then eating like a huge meal early in the morning, like heavy meal, like pasta or like rice or like jambalaya, like they have in Valencia, and then just going about your day, and then like not really having lunch, but then just eating like a light meal in the dinner time, or like a light dinner. I mean, that just is the strangest thing to me, because that's just not like correlating with my eating schedule, because I'm not Spanish, and that just like throws me for a loop every time, I think about that kind of thing, so I don't know. Anyway, if you're interested in seeing that kind of culture, check it out. Maybe you'll be interested in that. Maybe you'd be fascinated to see it. I know I was fascinated the first time I encountered it. But anyway, also Italian food's like, everyone's heard of Italian food. It's like the best in the world. And if you ever go to Italy, check out Don Michel's if you can fit into your itinerary schedule, or however you do your trips. I don't know, maybe you're just a spur of the moment kind of, we'll wing as we go. We're kind of a backpacker on a loose schedule kind of thing, kind of person. We're like one of those gone with the winds or airs kind of person. I don't know. But anyway, it's got the best pizza in the world. It's in Napoli, and it has 2 types of pizza, margherita and marinara. And they will be the best 2 margherita and marinara pizzas, or respectively the best margherita or marinara pizza you'll ever have in your entire life, based on, everything I've ever known about pizza, everything I've ever tasted, and everything I ever hold to be, holy in the Italian culture as far as culinary skills go. So try those if you can there, and you won't regret it if you're in the area. If you're a big pizza guy and want pizza, so yeah. But also I've never had like good New York pizza, I guess. I know there's like a lot of like luxury pizza places in New York City. But I've had like pizza by the slice in New York City, and like it's been good. But that's like what I think of when I think of New York pizza. And I think like just like why New York is the best place to get pizza, because you can just like go like pretty much like on any street in New York and just like get a slice. It's awesome. It's like the best, most convenient way to get like one of the best foods, well, in my opinion, in America or in the world. But that's because I could go for pizza like whenever. I actually got a pizza last night. It's pretty good. Funny fact, it was actually a margarita pizza, but just because I wasn't too hungry, and I got a small one. It was like the next thing on my list. There's this place called Magazine Pizza. I'm just like going down the list and trying to like order all the pizzas at some point. Like one at a time, obviously. I'm not gonna order them all at once. But I'm gonna, hopefully someday at least end up finishing all the pizzas. So that'll be something I can cross off. Nothing formally on my bucket list, but something interesting that I'm kind of like considering now. Just like something to work towards, like a personal goal. So that. But anyway, this is really cool about this fountain. It like has all these water jets that just go around the outside. They just like shoot water like up a little bit higher You probably think I'm sounding retarded right now, but it's just like, it's fascinating. It's like, it's so cool, like up in the air. It's like watching like one of those water concerts. Have you ever seen one of those where like they synchronize the music? So I'm wondering if like someone came here and like put on like a electro show, because I'm thinking of that because they have like the neon lights here, basically think of EDM, and just like they synchronize the faucets to like spray water at the right times. I think that'd be a really beautiful show. Maybe they have the Trans-Siberian Orchestra to do it, and they could like have that synchronized. I feel like that'd be like the right ambiance. But I think it'd be a really cool show. Anyway, it's like the nicest place to come and just like look. It's just like a cool plaza. I don't know. Also, they have these things here if you're interested, if you know about New Orleans, called the steamboats, which is like a cool way to see the river. It's like a really, I don't know, well, I've never been on one, so I can't say personally, but I've heard, well, I haven't heard anything much, actually enough to tell you an opinion. If you want to come to New Orleans and check one out, you can. I'm probably gonna check one out soon just because I live here, and I've lived here long enough that I feel like I should check one out at some point, so I feel like it'd be fun. I'm probably gonna bring some friends and make it like a fun afternoon, so I don't know. Anyway, local stuff I've done in New Orleans, which is like interesting, I guess, to do. I've checked out this place called, I was gonna say something else before. Oh, Barataria Preserve is what it's called. Yes. It's a national park, like way in the south of Louisiana, in the, like the wetland area, if you can call it that, even though it's kind of the swamp. That has really cool like trees and like rivers, or just swamp, or whatever you want to call it. They look like rivers, so it's cool. But you can go and just like walk around the park, go on trails, and like see the whole thing. So it's nice. I went there with a friend from work, and it was really cool. It's a really nice national park. There's that change up from like other parks I've seen. It's like I've never seen any other park that just like really emphasizes the swamp and like really shows the swamp and its highlights. So it's a really cool thing to see. So come check that out if you want to see the national parks, and you want to see what Louisiana really does best as far as national parks go, or where they really shine. So come see that if you're interested, and we have a good time. Also in the national parks range, I've been to Mammoth Caves in Kentucky, which is a really cool place to check out. It's actually the longest national cave system in the entire world, or longest cave system in the entire world. It happens to be in our country. That's why I was thinking that. Okay, so I'm just clearing that up in my head. Sorry. But anyway, it's like really cool. You can like trek back really far with a group, and they'll give you like tours of like the different ones. I did the dripstones and something else, and drops, whatever it's called. I don't know. I saw the ticket I saw the other day when I was like cleaning my room, rummaging through stuff in my room, and it reminded me back to that. It's a really cool thing to check out. So, also if you love caves, check out Vietnam. It's got some of the best caving systems in the entire world. So check it out, and if you get the chance, go to this place called Phong Nha and check out. I think it's a little bit north of that or somewhere, but there's this really cool cave tour where you can go in by kayak. You kayak into the cave, and you get out and you explore the caves, and you end up getting back in the water. But after going through this really interesting mudslide room, which I'm not going to ruin like the experience for you, obviously, but check it out because it's really fun. Anyway, also in Vietnam, it's like one of the top party destinations in Southeast Asia, especially if you're young, and even if you don't have that much money, you can afford to go, and you'll probably have the time of your life. But I don't know what it's like now, because it's not the same as back when I went, which was like the day, or at least it was the best whenever I went there. It was right after graduation from college with my friend Ian. We both did 40. It's actually on my YouTube channel. Go check it out. I'm trying to remember how many days we did. But we started in Singapore. Anyway, it's not important right now. We started in Singapore, and we traveled up along through Malaysia. Anyway, we ended up in Hanoi together. We met at we went our separate ways in Vietnam. I lost my camera in Thailand, and he wanted to go on to Cambodia. He's like, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna meet up with you again whenever I get the chance. So that's what we did. And we ended up meeting in Hanoi, and then I shotgunned a beer at the airport, and I think he did something. He ended up picking up a really cool Spanish girl on a motorcycle. So it was an epic one for both of us. And I had a good night with now I'm just rambling again. Anyway, I'm gonna stop saying stuff spontaneously or impulsively, or I don't know what the difference between those two words are. So I don't know how to appropriately use them. So I'm just gonna stop saying things that don't need to be said. How about that? But anyway, Vietnam is one of the coolest places on earth. Also, beers are really cheap there, so you can get beers for like $20, and food is really cheap there too. So you can get food for not too expensive. If you're traveling in Vietnam, also, as far as sites go, Hanoi is like the coolest place because there's so much history there. There's some awesome museums there, and Ha Long Bay is like unreal, which is, I was gonna build up the suspense of that because it's like the top thing you'd probably want to see in Vietnam, but just trust me, it's like one of the coolest things on earth, and like the cruise you take is like the experience. So like, I recommend two things. First of all, know what kind of tour you want. Because if you're like in a frat and just want like that kind of rager, you can always just like go on like the Hanoi Backpackers kind of tour. But it's like kind of like, a package deal where they give you like the whole like cliche kind of tour, which would be fun. But I kind of wanted to do it my own way. So I went there and I met people along the way, and we like organized it ourselves. And then we just like booked a really like a cheaper travel where like there was like less stringent rules, and we just like made it a rager. So it was awesome. We had a lot of fun. It was cool. and then meet some really awesome people. This one girl from Britain named Lexi, who's still cool. I talked to her the other day. She's happy to hear from me, or was happy to hear from me. Yeah, I talked to Steph, who I fell out of contact with apparently afterwards. She's this Australian girl. She said I could crash on her couch, whatever, if so ever, I would go to Australia. And I went to Australia afterwards and went to take up her offer, but she wasn't in contact because maybe she never checks her Facebook. I don't know, so I couldn't get a hold of her. But anyway, they're all awesome people. And that was one of the best times on the boat. Also, I met these hilarious British kids. They're great. I know one's name was, I think, Ollie, and I forget the names. I know one was Niall. I'm having trouble remembering now, but anyway, we had a great time, just boozing up and talking about stuff. So anyway, I'll stop rambling. But the next country I want to talk about is Thailand, because I'm still on topic. Which is the most interesting place. If you've never been outside the world much, if you've never seen Asia before, because it's just magical. It's one of the easiest places to go to if you're new to travel, because it's not too expensive. It's really easy to find accommodation. There's not too much pressure on you there as a foreigner, because I've seen a lot of foreigners before and dealt with them. Sorry, the size of my ass, so I pulled up this hood. By the way, the Columbia jacket is really nice. I got it because it's a cool windbreaker / technical performance weather jacket. So after trying on, I'm getting off topic, but in a good way. So after trying on a lot of different kinds of travel clothes, or I'm being too specifically now. But anyway, after trying a lot of different kind of jackets, I'll tell you this Columbia is one of the nicest jackets I've ever had, and it's really nice for what it does. That being said, I do own a North Face too, but it has a different function in my mind. It's protecting me from the cold, where this just protects me from the elements, like cold and probably not lava, but I don't know what else. Anyway, when I was traveling, so I have this tick thing where I just bite sometimes, because I feel I want something, maybe gum, but I don't have any gum. It's I just feel I need to bite something, and it's because my teeth, I just feel I need to clench my teeth, but I try not to, because I have it's hard to describe it. Anyway, my jaw is if I'm doing exercises, if you've ever done the insanity program, they'll tell you whenever you're running, you should just relax your jaw, you're eating a bag of chips. But I'm just quoting the program now, which is also, on a side note, I'm proud of this fact. I completed the insanity program to the full 60 days, and yes, it's an awesome accomplishment. But I can't tell you anything more about it. You just got to look it up, try for yourself, and see if you have what it takes. See if you can dig deeper and do it yourself, right? Anyway, let's talk about this jacket. It's an awesome jacket, by the way. But I'll talk about packing next too. That's an interesting thing about travel. Something you never thought about if you never had to live out of a backpack. But it's interesting to live on the road and not have everything you ever thought you needed with you at all times until you're traveling. You realize you don't need that much stuff if you're ever frugal, and you can make the most of the concept of minimalism, and just take things day by day without worrying about too much of the excess, too much of the clutter in your day-to-day life. So that being said, I'll finish talking about Thailand before I get off topic. So it's really cool. There's a lot of Watts there. There's a lot of really cool markets you can check out. Also, they have really interesting. What am I trying to say? Oh, street food. The street food there is great. You can try pad thai. And I'll tell you about this: the hottest food I ever ate in the entire world. I don't know. I'm talking to the camera, but maybe I should hold this farther away. When I was visiting the Royal Palace in Thailand, there was a vendor outside who was selling chicken. And when I went to this vendor, he asked me what I wanted, and I told him in English. I think he was speaking in Thai at the time, or maybe broken English, because I think he talked to enough foreigners to know the basic words. But he asked me what kind of chicken I wanted. I said hot chicken. So he made me a hot chicken. He said how much spice, but he didn't say it out loud. He just pointed to peppers, and I was okay. So in my mind I was okay. So he's asking me if I want peppers. So I'll say yes. Add some peppers. He goes okay, and he grabs a whole handful of peppers and he just throws it into the bowl. And after this, I go, oh shit, he's gonna make this really hot. And after he started cooking it, I realized that he was probably gonna be pretty hot. So he ended up cooking it for me, and he gave me the chicken thing with the rice or whatever, and I ate it. And let me tell you, it was the spiciest thing I've ever had in my entire life. It was a 10 out of 10 easily on the scale of hotness based on everything I've ever had. It was a fog, sorry, it's distracting. I don't know if you guys want to see it, but there was a boat passing. I've never seen it in my entire life, so that's. But anyway, that's some of the cool stuff you can do in Bangkok, the capital. If you ever go outside of Thailand, there's some cool places to go, like Pai, which is one of the cool places to go and check out if you want to see the hipster scene, because they have some really cool, just laid back kind of lifestyle activities you can check out there. And there's also, I think, an elephant farm either there or nearby there, because it might be in Chiang Mai. But anyway, it's a cool thing to do if you love animals, or if you're interested in seeing something about the culture there, because they really do revere animals there, or elephants there, I mean. So it's something really cool to check out if you get the chance to go to that region. But anyway, I'm going to talk now about another part of the world that I've been to, and that's the Middle East, because the Middle East is fascinating to me. It was such a foreign world to me. like when I heard about it, because I use the term the Arabic world, because they have like their own news, their own like culture and religion, and they're like kind of like distinct from the rest of the world. So I do find their entire area or region fascinating. So when I went or decided to make the decision to go to the Middle East, it was kind of spur of the moment, just because I'd never been to that region before and I really wanted to go. So what I did was I was at home and I was like, you know what, I don't have a job right now and I feel like I need to go somewhere. I feel like if the world was ending right now today, what would I do with my life? And I said, no, I'm gonna go to Africa right now because I've never been to Africa. I keep putting it off, and if I never do it, I'm just never gonna do it. So I just left and went to Africa to take off for Africa. So here's my journey. I'm just gonna fly to Italy just like that. And then I'm gonna go from there and somehow get to Africa. And that's exactly what I did on that trip, or that's what my mindset was on that trip. Yeah, good enough. I'm glad I got the point across to you. But that was what my mindset was on that trip. There, got the point across. Okay, anyway, anywho, I got to Milan and, you know, got some cool Italian food. It was nice. It was like the first time I traveled in Italy alone by myself fully. I think, yeah, because the last time I traveled alone when I was in Europe, at least prior to my trip to Eastern Europe, was with my sister. And it was whenever she left me in Spain because she wanted to get a different train ride, and then meeting her at the end of the train ride in the same city but at a different time. So that was interesting. But anyway, I traveled around to Italy for a little bit, and I got to go to my favorite country in the entire world. And I'll tell you what it is. It's San Marino. It's the tiniest little country in the entirety of like all of Europe, probably, but it's like one of the greatest places on earth. And I call it the Sky Kingdom, or the Kingdom in the Sky, because it's got the coolest castle you've ever seen in your entire life. It's perched right on top of a mountain, which you can see beautifully from like this area, which is like the main city center. So if you ever happen to be in that area and you have the time to go and see it, I promise you it's a magical place, and it'll be like one of the most special places you've ever seen in your entire life. So there. But also cool things, I managed to get €2 for the San Marino specific denomination, so I was really happy and pumped when I got those. Also, I got to have a really nice, quaint little breakfast at the cafe right downstairs from where I was staying, right near the castle, but not like the part that's like really scenic, not the scenic viewpoint of the castle. So there. But also, oh sorry, that's what I was talking about though. But anyway, I stayed there for a little bit, a couple nights I think, and then I traveled on, I think, to Cyprus. Yeah, that's where I decided to travel to next. It was like a Greek divided Turkish country, and I'd never seen a place like that was divided before. Thought that'd be fascinating to visit. I'd never been to that country before, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna check out that country. So I did. I just booked a flight there, kind of spur of the moment. I flew down there, got another passport, no problem, and I was able to tour 2 places. I think Nicosia, the divided capital. I think that is. I might have to check my facts at some point. But then also Larnaca, I think is the capital, which is where the plane landed. But I don't think I stayed in Larnaca too long. I think I just went straight on to Nicosia, because that's like where all the interesting stuff to see is. So I spent most of my time there, which is a week. And I stayed in some hostel in one of the streets. I gotta tell you, it was like one of the best places just to like stay and just spend a leisurely week there, because they have some great food. They have stuff called moussaka, which is awesome to try. I've never had that. It's a really traditional Greek dish, and it's delicious. Also, you get the best of both worlds. So if you want Turkish food, you can go right over the street and get kebab, which I think, I don't remember what I got, but I got something that was very Turkish. It was really good. So that. It's cool because on the Greek side, it's very Greek. There's like the marble kind of paved stone walkways. But on the Turkish side, it's like bazaars and the Turkish minaret kind of looking things, which I think of as distinctly Middle Eastern, but it gets tough because Middle East and the Ottoman Empire kind of blurred together at some point. So you'll see a lot of like Arab-inspired stuff in the Turkish area, which I've actually been to. So I've been to like, I won't get on topic. I'll keep that on my trip. But you'll notice that if you ever go to Istanbul. Anyway, while I was in Larnaca, I decided I wanted to go to the Middle East, and I decided to commit to it fully. So I booked a flight to Lebanon, I think it was, and from there I got really excited. It was like, finally, I get to see the Middle East. This is like a place I've never been before. This is gonna be like the most exciting trip of my life. So I did that, and I landed in, I think I routed through Lebanon and landed in the first country I could, which is Jordan. That's right, that's where I booked my flight to, but I had to route through Lebanon. So I booked my flight to Jordan, and it routed me through Lebanon. So that was cool. I did that on the way. I had like a long layover in Lebanon there for like 24 hours. So actually I tried to leave the airport because I wanted to see Beirut and wanted to see if I could party for one night, because I've heard the nightlife there is really good. But the lady said I couldn't go without a visa because I wouldn't be there. I forget the reason actually, but she said anyway she wouldn't give me a visa for whatever I needed to take to the airport, so I couldn't do that. But I did end up staying there at the airport and buying like a little pack of cigarillos. What do you want to call those? Like the tiny thin cigarettes that people smoke. So that. And I ended up bringing those along with me to Jordan, because at that point in time I was like, you know what, maybe I don't know, I got no reason, but I just did that. So, anyway, Jordan is like one of the most interesting countries on earth, because it's probably, well, unless you're from the Middle East, maybe you've seen somewhere similar, but I don't know that many places in the Middle East, I guess, to be, saying like a strong opinion on this, but I will say that it's one of the most interesting, true, and different places I've ever been to in the entire world up until that point, until I went there, and then because I didn't know yet that it would be the most interesting and different place that I've been to on earth. So there. Anyway, I stayed in not Manama, that's in Bahrain. I stayed in the capital, which is it's Mena something. I don't know. It's it's Amman. That's right. That's the capital of Jordan. So that's true. It's a fact. I promise you that. So anyway, I stayed there for a couple days. Got some food. Kind of toured the capital a little bit. Because obviously you gotta try the food in your new country. Because that's like part of the experience of like learning about the culture, being immersed in some of the culture. At least in my opinion. So that I love experiencing. Cool. I'll stop talking because I'm thirsty. Anyway, after that, I booked a tour through, I think a taxi driver. I think I just ended up getting a taxi to get to Petra. I ended up seeing Petra for one day, but after going there and talking to one of the tour guide operators later on in the day, he told me that most people spend like 2 or 3 days there because it takes a while to see the ruins. And since it is a wonder of the world, I decided that I wanted to spend more time there, so I ended up going back later on. But it was cool to see it, and it's like one of those magical places. When you first enter, you go through this like ravine in the desert. But when that view opens up and you see the monastery, it's like one of the most beautiful things on earth you could ever imagine. And trust me, it is like a worthwhile experience, so keep that in mind. But after that, I did take a trip to the Dead Sea, which was really cool. I got the float in there, I used my GoPro. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but if you do, you can check out a picture of me floating the Dead Sea on my Instagram. I did or did not bring a cigar, I don't remember, but I might have, because I heard it was a cool thing to do, and I heard it was a popular thing to do. Another thing about it, I don't think I brought a cigar. So, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, because I don't really care about that on my bucket list. But it's just something I didn't do, so just something I didn't do. It wasn't bucket list though, was seeing Petra, so I didn't get to see Petra. And, another thing that was really cool, which I think was on my bucket list, was to see Wadi Rum, which is the desert in Jordan, not too far north of Petra. So I did get to go there, and I did like a 2-day maybe tour of Petra, or of Wadi Rum. But actually, I think it was 1 day now that I think about it. But anyway, I arrived there, got to stay in a desert camp. They cooked me, I think they gave me Bedouin cooking food, which is really cool. It's like the local tribal cuisine. And I got to go, I think, on a tour of the desert by 4x4. So I got to drive around, see the dunes from like all the angles. This thing on just like, zoomed in. It's over there. And got to, just see the beautiful desert landscape, which is awesome. It's like so pristine, and the sand there is just gorgeous. It's like, it looks just like something, and I mean, something out of 1001 Arabian Nights, but if I just said that, it wouldn't do justice. So if you want to truly get that image for yourself, check out other things, and also check out this guy. I think his name is Jeremy or something Lid. I know he does a lot of stuff on the Discovery Channel. So I know he did a really good special on Jordan. So if you want to see more of Jordan, check out his show on Discovery Channel. He'll give you some awesome shots, awesome places by Jordan. Some cool places to get there. But anyway, back to my trip. It's itinerary, but how it went. Oh, so okay. So after Jordan, here's the thing. The last night I was in Jordan, I was in Aqaba, I think. Yeah, because I wasn't planning on returning to Amman. I think I was in Aqaba when I did this. But I just finished diving in Aqaba, which is something I really wanted to do, because I heard it's like one of the dive capitals of the world. And I did get to do 2 dives on a shipwreck in the area, which I think near the Red Sea, or possibly the Red Sea actually. So that was cool. And also I'm advanced diploma certified. I did NAUI certification when I was in college. I was really lucky when I was in college to have gotten a spot in class, which is actually a really hard thing to get because they always fill up really quickly. But I just happened to be putting my name. I happened to put my name on a wait list. Happened to be in. I almost got these 2 things confused. In the computer lab when the spot opened up, so I managed to get my spot reserved in the class. So lucky me. That's why I'm certified. But anyway, it was a bit of a ramble, but I'm glad you're still with me. The next thing is when I was there, I was like, okay, I decided to book a night at the Burj Al Arab. Yeah, right. It sounds lavish, but here's the reasoning. Because it's like also it's the most luxurious hotel on earth. But here's the reasoning. I was like, if the world was gonna end tonight, this is my last night on earth, what would I do and where would I want to spend it? So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna spend it at the Burj Al Arab because why not? Actually, what I did first, to be honest, I'll be fair with this, is I looked up online how much it costs to spend the night there. And at the time, it cost me $1,001 or something like that. But I was like, you know what? That's actually fair because I thought it would cost like more. I thought it would cost like $7,000. But based on my budget and how much money I have, I think it's worth more than $1,000 to me to spend one night at the Burj Al Arab. So I booked it. I put in my name and details on the site, and I reserved my night for one night in Dubai. So that was one of the coolest things I did when I was traveling in the Middle East, and I did manage to lock that up when I was in Jordan. So anyway, that's like one of the things that was on, I think, my bucket list too, but it's kind of like one of the impromptu things that I kind of just like thought about and kind of like, yeah, you know what, this is kind of thing I want to do, so I'm just gonna do this. So some of those things like on there, but like always seemed kind of unreasonable because like, would I ever really do this though? And I thought about that too. I was like, you know, but if I ever really put it off, like when else would I ever want to do it? I was like, if I just end up putting it off forever, would I ever really do it? And you know, when that kind of thing just starts coming along, he's got to coincide or collide with at some point. And it made me realize the point, you know, if I never commit to doing it, and I always put it off, then I'm never going to do it. So I just committed and did it. So that's how I pushed the button, and that's how I managed to get the reservation online. But anyway, after that, I did stop over in this country called Kuwait, which is really cool. I think I'm random now, not right now. But anyway, I went to Kuwait, I went to Bahrain. If you read about other stuff on my blog, it's talesfromthebucketlist.com. It's really interesting, possibly to you, if you've never read that much before about travel, or if you just want to see some things, because if you don't like reading, you can check out my videos. I do a video for every place I go to, and you can check them all out. They're all on my blog. It's under the right tab, if you can find it. I think it's called videos or something like that. But anyway, you can read about them, read about me, and you can read about what I do. I love to travel, but I'm not taking the full-time travel anymore, so I'm into different stuff now. So stay tuned for more about what I'm doing on Earth. But I'm going to keep doing this because I'm at 41 minutes, and I want to complete this full 1 hour of stand-up. So there we go. Anyway, next. What else? Let's see. I really want to talk about travel. I'm going to say this hamburgers. So I love hamburgers. It's like one of my favorite foods in the entire world. I love me an American hamburger. And one of the best things I've ever had, one of the best things I've ever done, I'll say actually, instead, hamburger-wise, is to have this burger. There's one place in Charlotte when I was there to visit my mom, my dad, who unfortunately did suffer a stroke. So, you know, I want to treat that lightly. But I went to a hotel bar and restaurant, and at that bar and restaurant, they happened to have a food challenge there where they said, if you can finish this burger, we will put your picture up on the wall. So I was like, you know what? Game on. I'm going to do this. So I sat in the restaurant, and I think she said that out loud whenever she said, like, you know, do your order thing. But anyways, beside the point. I had this burger. I finished the whole thing in one sitting. And yes, as far as I know, my picture is still on the wall at that hotel restaurant. So if you're ever there, you haven't ever seen me, recognize me, know that I conquered that challenge. If you can do the same, then, you know, see if you can earn that title of your picture on the wall, or whatever title you get by having your picture on the wall. I don't know. Maybe Burger Champion of the Year. I don't know. Anyway. Also, I'm just noticing this now, pizza's on here. Pizza's one of my favorite foods, and Supreme Pizza is possibly one of my favorite types of pizza, but I do love margarita pizza, so I think that might be my favorite kind of pizza, because like, Supreme Pizza gets like kind of almost too much sometimes. I'm gonna say now my favorite type of pizza is veggie pizza. Why? Because it's got all the things that I love most about pizza, which is like the veggies, which is just give it like the best flavors, and I love that kind of like, I love that part of pizza, you know, just that, like wow, like the tomato sauce and all that like just comes straight from the garden. It's such a hearty food. Maybe that's why pizza's a vegetable, and I agree with them, school board. Pizza should be a vegetable. Keep pizza a vegetable, okay? Thank you. Also food-wise, I love seafood. When I was younger, I used to go to the Virginia Beach with my dad, or the whole Virginia Beach area with my dad. And we always used to go to this place called Captain George's, all-you-can-eat seafood buffet. And I would always go nuts on the crab legs because you could go to the seafood to the buffet and just get however much you wanted. And I always would just stock up on crab legs until I got full. So it was really good. And it's probably one of my favorite things, except for sushi, because I love all of sushi. I'm also Japanese, if you didn't know that. I don't know if you can tell by looking at me, but I am. So I was raised eating a lot of sushi, or it was very popular as far as my dad's dining and or eating out kind of plans. So I ended up eating a lot of it when I was younger. I also went to Tokyo when I was like 2, so I got to go to sushi restaurants and stuff when I was that age. I also Well, I was gonna say I also did go when I was 4, but I also did go when I was older, so that was really cool. I got to go to a sushi restaurant with my uncle, which was in Tokyo. It was actually one of the nicest, if not the nicest sushi restaurant in the world, which is awesome. And also, one of the reasons why is because it's right by the fish market in Tokyo. So the fish they get there is the freshest in the entire world. So it's really good. But one of the things they had there was a challenge. It was called the Wasabi challenge. So I got to do it with my uncle, who recommended this to me. And what it is a sushi roll, which is entirely covered the outside in wasabi. You know what wasabi is? It's that green stuff they put on the sushi plate whenever you order sushi, and it packs a kick if you ever eat it. So just know that. But I ate an entire, I split one with my uncle. We ate the entire roll, and let me tell you, it's a kick in the head. You eat it, and at first it doesn't hit you because you just taste the wasabi. And afterwards, it feels like something just punched you right in the head, right between the eyebrows. So it's like really a head rush, but as soon as it goes away, it's just like the best feeling of relief ever. It just like a wave just rolled past you. It's just like, wow, that is like the most relieving thing on earth. But anyway, Japan's a beautiful country. I love it. I probably want to go back there someday, but I want to bring someone because I want to show it to them, just to let them see the magic from my perspective, I guess. But let me explain it to them, and I can share it with them, with their perspective and my perspective together. So I'm trying to say, I guess. So that. But I don't know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, I want to go back there with someone. So that. But anyway, what am I talking about before? Oh, pizza. Oh yes, right. Other things I like about seafood. Well, I live in New Orleans, so seafood's like a huge thing down here. I love all things. Well, I don't know. I guess I eat a lot of pasta down here, so I love pasta too. It's like one of my other favorite foods, and I love making new pasta recipes and tweaking with sauce recipes. So that's what I'm trying to do. My main goal in life in the culinary field is to try to make a really good pasta sauce. So I'm working on that, and hopefully that'll come through soon. Something that I can be proud of. So that's. My dad loved to cook, and he always used to tweak curry recipes. So that was his crown culinary glory was his curry. So I'm happy for him, and hope I can someday live up to that with my pasta standards. So that's. But anyway, I just want to see what time is at, because I don't know if I think the place that I'm trying to check in is open soon. I just don't want to run over time, but I just realized now, did I even do a stand-up? It's kind of like a faux pas. I only thought of that after I was checking it, because if so, I was going to wrap it up, and if not, I was going to keep going. And I was going to keep going, so yeah. Anyway, a lot of people arriving, so that's going to happen soon. Anyway, a strange thing is there's a lot of ships in this harbor. I never noticed it before, but apparently it's like a port town, so I don't know. But I never imagined it that way, because it's kind of on the river, even though it's the Louisiana part of the Mississippi River. So of course, it's got a huge harbor kind of feel to it. But anyway, it's not what I think of. I think of San Francisco and that kind of bay. So I don't know. But anyway, another thing about me in my life, I love parties and festivities, both. I already mentioned parties, but I love festivals. So one of the festivals they have down here is Voodoo Fest. I think it was. Yeah, I was gonna say Voodoo Fest, and I was right. So I should have stuck with that, man. But what it is an awesome festival. When I was there, they had a lot of cool headliners. I think Zed played there, which is awesome. He's one of my favorite EDM artists of all time, I think. And some other people, I know John Legend was played there, but I don't know if John Legend himself was there. So now I'm kind of confused. But anyway, I remember that song coming on when I was there, because it was one of my favorite songs at the time. It's really just a soulful song, and I love that kind of thing if it really can hit you. So it's cool. But I love the atmosphere of an EDM concert when the lights just come on and just whoa, and the bass drops, the beat drops, or whatever. Just awesome. I went to this thing on tomorrow. Well, that's all I had to say about Voodoo Fest. So in case you're wondering, there's nothing else to say about Voodoo Fest. Go check it out for yourself, though. It's in New Orleans. But here, I don't know. You can see you there if I go again. But actually, this thing called French Quarter Fest is going on. So if you go there, you might see me this year, because I might go there. So keep that in mind. But anyway, this thing called Tomorrow World is held in Atlanta, Georgia, or at least near enough to Atlanta, Georgia. You could probably just call it Atlanta, Georgia. But it's not, and if you're a Belgian watching this, it's not the one in Belgium. We know it's awesome. We have our own, and it's close enough to us that we don't really have to care, because we can still do all the fun stuff and drink to the point where it doesn't really matter as far as we're concerned. So, anyway, it's awesome, and I went there. I went there with my friends Ian, who's the same guy I travel studies with, my roommate from college. Sorry, almost that's the wrong word there for a sec. Brandon, and we ended up having a fun time. We raised our faces off to EDM music, and I think I had a Camelback with me at the time, which was filled with alcohol, so that was really fun. I got that idea from, I hope this will be about Tucker Max, which is, I read about this, that is exactly something I would do, and exactly something I want to do, so that's what I did. I bought a Camelback, and I was like, this is perfect for me, and if anyone's watching this from my thong committee, you'd probably recognize me, because I was the one with the Camelback, so yes, it's a good idea, but I've since then, I also use it for hydration purposes, and I'm not an alcoholic. Don't judge me, but it is just a good idea if you're doing something like a day long as St. Patty's Day. And if so, I saw you at St. Patty's Day. If you're watching this, so you can't judge me because I saw you there. If you're watching this, Tim, hi, it's still me. Yes, always adhere to my advice. Remember that. Okay. Anyway, what was I saying again? Oh, right, festivals. Yes. It was awesome. There was a lot of good people playing there, and we just ended up having an awesome time. But anyway, but other festivals, I don't know. I wanted to go to Burning Man this year, but I didn't have like a group to go with because I want to just like, see, actually, now that I think about it, I don't even know what I do there. But I just think it'd be cool to just like see the atmosphere there. But then again, I'm not like a hippie, at least in that kind of way. But I'm a hippie in like I would camp for Tomorrow World or Tomorrowland in Belgium for 3 days. Because I don't think I would camp for one in the United States, so I don't know. But because also, I've already been there too, so that. But anyway, that's the kind of hippie I am. So anyway, what is cool though is, I don't know. I think all that stuff is cool because it just like gives you a chance to just like branch out and like get the other people and just like do something fun rather than just like sit at home and like not do any like unique experiences. A lot of people when I was working in New Orleans here did stuff like Coachella and Lollapalooza, but I didn't go to those. I just kind of was mostly interested in travel. At that point in time, saving my money for it because I didn't have that much money, at least disposable money at that point in time. So I couldn't like be spending my money every weekend doing stuff like that. I'd like be putting it towards travel and plane tickets and hotels and stuff like that. So that's what I was budgeting for. But anyway, if you want to see festivals, I think America might be a good place to come because we got a lot of festivals. But then again, I'm not the promoter for America, but if I was, hey, come check us out. We got a lot of cool stuff here. I mean, if you want to see like, well, I don't know. I should just, I'll say this. If you want to come to French Fest or French Quarter Festival, you should come check it out because I'm promoting that right now. So, you'll give me like a free coffee or something. I don't know. But anyway, the city's great and I love it here. It's like the funnest party city on earth. If you love to have fun, you will not have a problem here because there's always something you can do that'll be fun in New Orleans. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, about last night. Okay, so last night I went out to, what did I do? I was thinking the night before when the Pelicans won for some reason, but that wasn't what I was talking about, so never mind. Oh, I went out to this place behind my building called the Rusty Nail, which is like the best bar in all New Orleans, but mostly that just applies to me because it's right behind my condo. So it's like where I go like pretty much every night if it's late and I just feel like checking like what the party scene's like and just like go to see if anyone's there. And if so, I'll just like talk and try to meet people. In the past, I met a lot of people from my building, which is, right in front of it, obviously, because they're just located right around the corner. But it's cool. It's like an awesome place to hang out and just like grab a drink and do stuff. So I'm there like a lot, but not like all the time, just, like a lot of the time. So anyway, it's like my favorite bar in all of New Orleans. So this is right close to home. So anyway, though, I went to, maybe you saw my other video, but yesterday I had a stomach bug, so I had to go to the doctor and get some medicine. So I did that, and I tried to go to Walgreens later in the afternoon. Because at first I was just walking. I was like, what, why am I walking all the way there? I just call someone to pick it up for me. And I went home and did that, tried to do that, but they couldn't do it because they're busy. So unfortunately that didn't work out. But anyway, I ended up going there later, tried to check, but the pharmacy section was already closed because they close early. I didn't notice at the time, but they do, so that's just an unfortunate thing. So, but anyway, I remember now. I've been talking for like 52 minutes, and I didn't realize at all that I was doing a stand-up special because I just now remember that was the whole point of this whole thing. So I'm gonna change the whole thing up right now and say this started off as a stand-up special, but it's now just a ramble. So if you want to see my stand-up special, stay tuned. I'll do that for, I guess, an hour long too. So there'll be that. But until then, I'm just gonna keep talking about this on topic until I hit the 60-minute mark because I'm at minute 53. But I don't know. I think the lid store is open actually at this point in time. So here's the deal. If you've ever like seen stand-up specials, it's literally, the typical stand-up special length, then it's probably around 53 minutes or so. It's like a good time to be like, that's like, it's probably what they are at. So I'm gonna wrap this up now and go inside there and buy my hat. But until then, I hope you listen to me talk because that's just some things that I wanted to say. So there, I'm here, Jonathan Catani, signing out.